H-1B workers in 2022 and fired at least 85,000 American workers. Does that sound like America First to you guys?
Later that same day, I clearly remember going to the local church pumpkin sale and having to tell the kids I couldn't buy any that year because my job was being turned over to a foreign worker.
So this past weekend was quite a doozy. There is a big little civil war in the MAGA movement concerning H-1B1 visas. I don't know exactly how it started, but I know it had something to do with Elon Musk promoting and praising H-1B1 visas, pretty much promoting legal migration, which obviously MAGA, who believes in slogans such as America First, had a huge issue with it. So here's Isabella Moody, who will explain exactly what happened.
Twitter has been erupting. MAGA on Twitter is in a crazy heated debate right now over H-1B visas. As you guys can see on my screen, it's been pretty much the only thing people are talking about on Twitter, or, X, for the past 24 hours, if not 48 hours. And let me just read you guys what's going on if you guys don't know. So Elon Musk has publicly defended the H-1B visa program amid rising tensions within the MAGA community, arguing for its importance in bringing innovative talent to the U.S. Critics of the program, including some MAGA supporters, claim it depresses wages and displaces American workers. The discussion, okay, whatever. Everyone is just disagreeing, okay? It's getting wild. I'm going to be on the side against it, and I'll tell you why. So the whole idea of H-1B is, we're bringing in very skilled, the brightest, the best, the most intelligent people from foreign countries in, because that's the American dream. We want to get the best in here, and they'll thrive, and they'll make America even better. But that's actually not what's happening. Really what's going on is big companies, the big tech bros, want cheap foreign labor. It's as simple as that. And it's kind of wrapped in a bow of moral superiority, like the American dream for immigrants. But realistically, so many American workers have lost their job due to things like the H-1B visa program, right? So here's a stat I did find. Basically, the top 30 H-1B employers hired 34,000 new H-1B workers in 2022 and fired at least 85,000 American workers. Does that sound like America First to you guys? Because it sure as hell doesn't to me. And I wanted to show you guys this. So here's this. This is actually pretty sad. This is a former Disney employee breaking down in tears as he describes a group of IT workers being told that they're losing their jobs because their jobs were given to foreign workers through the H-1B visa program. Watch this. It's actually heartbreaking.
I walked into a small conference room with about 24 highly respected fellow IT workers. The Disney executive made a harsh announcement to us all. All of you in this room will be losing your jobs in the next 90 days. Your jobs have been given over to a foreign workforce. In the meantime, you will be training your replacements until your jobs are 100% transferred over to them, and if you do not cooperate, you will not receive any severance pay. I was completely silent during this meeting, thinking how this was going to affect my coworkers. How was I going to break news to my family and pay all of our expenses? I would soon be living on unemployment. Later that same day, I clearly remember going to the local church pumpkin sale and having to tell the kids I couldn't buy any that year because my job was being turned over to a foreign worker. I started to think what kind of an American I was becoming. Was I going to become part of ruining our country by taking severance pay in exchange for training my foreign replacement? How many other American families would be affected by the same foreign worker that I trained? The first part of my 90-day period was focused on capturing all that we did with our jobs. We all felt extremely humiliated when the foreign worker sat next to us and watched everything that we did. The final period of the 90 days was the most disgraceful and demoralizing, as we had to watch the foreign workers completely take over our jobs. And we came to grips that the upcoming Disney jobs promise didn't exist. Then finally, on January 31st of 2015, we were ordered to turn in our company badges, laptops, and then ushered out the door. How can it be that everybody that hears these stories about Disney and the like, from the barbers to the bankers, are completely shocked? Yet our lawmakers continue to debate the topic and take no action. The reason that more affected IT workers don't come out into the public is twofold. And that is why most lawmakers mostly hear from the tech giants and are very rarely heard from the displaced American workers who will disclose themselves publicly.
I mean, seriously, how depressing is that? Seriously. Imagine that's like your dad, your mom, someone these people are American workers and they lose their jobs to foreign labor. Why? Not because they're bringing their best and their brightest. It's all about cheap labor, guys, okay? It has nothing to do with bringing the best and the brightest, because these foreign workers, they will work longer hours for way less, and they won't take off holidays because, as my friend Lisa said on Twitter, it's a cheap labor scheme with a nearly certain path to citizenship. So that's like the quid pro quo. It's like they want to get into America. This is how they do it. And like I said on Twitter here, the big tech bros, they don't support H-1B because it's bringing in the best and the brightest. It's about cheap labor and always will be about cheap labor. How many times can I tell you this?
I mean, absolutely. This isn't much different than just letting the illegals coming through here and doing the same thing. It's a lot of big companies like the illegal migrants because it's cheap labor, and this is honestly no different. It's just maybe the H-1B1 people just get paid more, and that's about it. But it is absolutely about cheap labor. It's not about the best and the brightest.
Look at this here. So this was posted by someone underneath my tweet, and a report by the Economic Policy Institute revealed that the majority of H-1B employers pay migrant workers less than market wages. A significant number of these workers earn between 17 and 34% less than the local median salaries of U.S. employees in similar positions. So basically, like I said right up here, yep, proves my point. Case proven. I also do want to point something out. It's actually incorrect to refer to H-1B workers as immigrants, and this is according to the U.S. Department of Labor's own website, okay? And this is in their own words, I quote, "The H-1B program applies to employers seeking to hire non-immigrant aliens as workers." So according to the DOL, the intent of the H-1 provisions is to help employers who cannot otherwise obtain needed business skills and abilities from the U.S. workforce by authorizing the temporary employment of qualified individuals who are not otherwise authorized to work in the United States. So they're importing cheap labor and they're screwing over the American worker in the meantime. How great. How not America first. Seriously. And then Donald Trump just came out in support of this, which actually sucks. Let me pull that up. Yeah, so Trump, and this is according to the New York Post, Trump supports immigration visas backed by Musk. He said, "I have many H-1B visas on my property," which makes sense, of course. If you're a business owner and you can import cheap labor, like that's what they're going to do. They're cutting costs and screwing over the American people. So Trump is beginning to get a lot of criticism on this. And this is what sucks about, like, Elon Musk definitely helped Trump win. And I'm very happy that he bought Twitter so I could be back on Twitter because I was banned before. So thankful for that. However, this is the issue when we have big corporate interests and CEOs just screwing over the American people. And also just don't call it America first. It's not. I just hate the whole moral high ground. Like, these people think they're so great. We're going to bring in the best and the brightest and the best, and they're going to make America so much greater because they're the best. No, you're bringing in cheap labor. That's what it is. That's what it is. Stop acting like it's all about helping America by bringing in these really skilled, super skilled, high-end workers that have so much higher IQs, because in their argument is like that the American people are lazy. And even like MTG herself basically said, here, let me pull this up because this is crazy. She claimed that companies use H-1B visas because young Americans are too busy taking selfies, drugs, and trying to become internet influencers instead of acquiring skills. Listen, yes, there is a laziness in American culture, but how about we solve the root problem and stop like having people waste so much money to get brainwashed at colleges, or actually only have people go to college if their field of expertise really requires it. Like, I don't know, a doctor. Americans are lazy. The answer is not, oh, let's just import foreign workers. Seriously, all these people are getting laid off. You could definitely find skilled people within the United States. Stop acting. So it's like, not only are they insulting our intelligence by claiming it's about bringing the best and the brightest, but they're also just saying how lazy and awful and low IQ American workers are.
Yeah. 100% correct. That's what frustrating me too. Following this thing the weekend, this whole like, yeah, well, but Americans, they're too lazy, or they're this and they're that. And I thought the same thing. It's like, well, that doesn't mean we just start importing people then. Like, no, it's America first. Make America great again. And that means that we do away with this damage that the Democrats have done by incentivizing laziness and incentivizing poor behavior and sinful behavior and all these things that just do nothing for the American soul and the American spirit. It's by fixing those core issues, fixing the colleges, fixing all the school system, fixing the type of values that are pushed here in America. That's how we fix America. Not just by like, oh, well, Americans are lazy, so yeah, we're just going to bring in these people over here. I mean, there's like, 340 million people in this country? Millions and millions, hundreds of millions of people in this country, American citizens. And you mean to tell me you can't fill in like a position for what, like you can't fill in 50 positions or something with those people? You have to import? No, I'm sorry, but no, that is not an excuse. It's just more of this like this is one of our issues with the left that we had to deal with, and the Democrats, of them just looking down on us and just making us feel like we're not worthy or deserving of things that we totally are deserving of. We're too privileged, we're too this, we're too that. But now it's like we're getting it from freaking the MAGA movement, the people that are in charge of I wouldn't say in charge, but the heads of the MAGA movement. We're getting the same type of look down upon this lecturing that we've had to deal with, and we're sick of it. We're sick of being lectured to. We're sick of being talked down to from everybody. There is a silver lining here, and I'll get to that at the end. But let's go look through some tweets from people here from prominent people, even people who I've covered here on this channel. So this is from PBD, Patrick Bet David. He tweeted this: "As an immigrant from Iran, I saw this as an edge. I didn't mind working 80 hours a week. I didn't mind the competition. All I wanted was a shot. This used to be the American way. Time to return to it. Take a min to read." And then he tweeted this Vivek Ramaswamy tweet, who is also in defense of this one. Which, I mean, is it any wonder these are freaking corporate people? If this whole thing, like if Trump's presidency for the next few years turns out to be a sham and ruined by freaking corporations, like holy freaking cow, like we should feel like such fools. But here, Vivek Ramaswamy, the reason top tech companies often hire foreign-born and first-generation engineers over native Americans isn't because of an innate American IQ deficit, a lazy and wrong explanation. Okay, well, there's that at least. A key part of it comes down to the C word. Sorry, just when you hear C word, a certain C word just pops in your brain. Culture. Oh. Tough questions demand tough answers, and if blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then there's a community. Gotta love the community notes. Patrick Bet David made his money by founding a predatory multi-level marketing pyramid scheme, which he then used to market himself as a business guru on YouTube. He is essentially a scam artist. Wow. So yeah, PBD. Of course, all these big business people are for H-1B1 visas. And listen. I am not completely anti this stuff, but what I am anti is prioritizing foreigners over Americans. That's it. Bottom line. Like if you want to hire the token 1 or 2 H-1B visa person, then fine. But not like where it's like, oh, you're hiring more of these people than you are American. And then there's this dude. I don't know who this dude is. Hashim Tuzi? I don't know how to say his last name. Hashim Tuzi, PMP. Elon Musk didn't come to the U.S. on an H-1B. He came illegally scamming. Okay. He came illegally scamming. God, these guys getting roasted. He came illegally scamming his way in on a student visa, F1, he never used, then violated its terms to work. His constant lies about his origin story aren't just to lecture folks. They're to protect himself from deportation and avoid the massive fines and asset seizures that could follow an investigation into his immigration fraud. Wow. Whew. Let's see what he posted here that Elon said. The reason I'm in America, along with so many critical people who built SpaceX, Tesla, and hundreds of other companies that made America strong, is because of H-1B. Take a big step back and F yourself in the face. I will go to war on this issue, the likes of which you cannot possibly comprehend. So that was one of the tweets that really riled people up more. Man, listen, this is what's beautiful about the MAGA movement is that, we always get accused of being cult members by the left. I mean, all of us know that that's just projection on their part. They're the actual cult members, but we get called the cult members. But here's the thing. If this were Democrats, like if this whole scene was on the Democrat side, everyone would just be going along with it. They would go along with it, and the ones that didn't would be kicked out and called racist and stuff. All right. But in this movement here, we call out these people. We call out Elon Musk. We call out the PBDs. And yes, even Donald Trump. When Donald Trump goes out and supports this, we don't just sit here and be like, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? Yeah, H-1B ones, they're great. We love them. That would be the leftist way to do it. But us, we call them out. And you know what? That's what shows what kind of leaders they are. Because if they just say, well, F you guys, we're just going to do it our way, well, they're going to get a lot of slack for it, and we're not going to take it anymore. We would not take this stuff. But if they compromise, which I talked about a silver lining earlier, the silver lining is that it looks like there's some compromise coming up, which I'll get to just in a second. I got to cover this because there's one point I forgot to bring up. Isabella Moody tweeted, "Still waiting to have my badge back that my husband pays for, Elon Musk." Yeah. So people are getting their blue check marks taken away if they talked back or they spoke out against this, which is not a good look for Elon. Not a good look at all. You can't be doing that stuff. You can't be doing that. There was a whole thing with Laura Loomer over the weekend. I don't know if anyone else saw this. There was like a Twitter Spaces, an X Space, and Laura Loomer was talking to these dudes. I think some of them worked for Twitter, and then there is other guys. I don't know who they are. I don't know. Someone explain to me who they are. I still don't know. But man, the way they were talking to Laura, they were just talking in the most condescending type of way and pretty much acting like leftists, trying to make her bend the knee, making her apologize if she wants her blue check mark back and her subscribers back, because her blue check mark and all her stuff got taken away too. So all her stuff got taken away, so she wanted to get it back and wanted to see how she could take it back. So now, fair enough, she got in trouble because she doxed someone, because I guess she released these FEC files and it had someone's address on there. So she thought she edited it out, but she didn't. So that's why she got it taken away, because that's against their policy. And that's what they told her. So fair enough. Okay. Yeah, fair. But she's like, is there any way to rectify it? And man, they just start going off on her and just, you need to apologize. And what about all the people that you put in danger and blah, blah, blah. And they sounded just like leftists. They're calling her racist. And it was just unbelievable. And I'm like, I almost like deleted my account. I'm going to be honest here. Like, if these are the people working for Twitter, how is this any different than freaking Jack Dorsey's Twitter? Like, how is this any different? And eventually it did calm down, and they actually had like a civil discussion where Laura Loomer made great points, and I totally agreed with her. Listen, I know a lot of people don't like Laura Loomer, or what have you. They have her strong opinions on her and stuff, and I get it. I do. I don't dislike her or anything. I'm fine with Laura Loomer. She can be a little much sometimes, but overall, like, I don't really have a big issue with her. But just because it's Laura Loomer doesn't mean that you should excuse it, because that's what people did with Alex Jones under the old Twitter. When they took away Alex Jones's, when they banned him, people were like, well, it's just Alex Jones. It's like, yeah, now it's just Alex Jones. But what happens when they come for you, which they eventually will, and they eventually did. Same thing with Laura Loomer. You can't just be like, well, Laura Loomer, who cares? It's like, well, no, you should care, Because if they're going to do this to Laura Loomer, what's going to stop them from doing it to you next? Anyway, the silver lining in all this is that Elon Musk did seem to want to. He tweeted that he's willing to compromise, that he wants to make it more expensive for companies to use the H-1B1 visas. Now, you could argue his intentions all you want. We don't know his intentions. Yes, maybe he's just doing it. Some people theorize that he could be doing it because it will hurt his competition, because if he makes other companies pay more, that this will hurt his competition more because they would have to use the American citizens since it will be cheaper to use citizens. And then meanwhile, his company could afford it. He could keep using the H-1B1. Maybe that is the answer. Maybe he just does want to hurt his competition. But if he's willing to make a compromise, at least it shows that he is willing to listen. And that's all I want from our leaders, just a willingness to listen and compromise from the people. And that's what's beautiful about this MAGA movement, if that's what happens. If they end up compromising, then you know what? Listen, that's still a win for us. Maybe not a complete win, but if they're at least willing to listen to us on some sort of level, hey, that's way better than the Democrats' reign, where they didn't let us listen to us at all and demonized anyone who spoke up against them. Hopefully, Isabella Moody and all these other people get their blue check marks back, and I hope they stop censoring people for just speaking out on this stuff. What do you guys think about all this, though? Comment down on the comment section down below. Smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you enjoy content like this. And if you do enjoy content like this, I got a whole bunch more goodies for you on the screen to click away and enjoy.